Thank you for coming and joining me in another Psalms. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. And the sun has come out. It's around the afternoon here. And I hope God's been blessing you all. We're here in Psalm 7. And the background of Psalm 7 is very interesting, as David brings up someone by the name of Cush, who is a Benjamite. And there are several references, and there is no absolute known fact of who David is referencing to when he talks about Cush. But we know that Saul was a Benjamite. His father's name was Kish, so it wouldn't be surprising if he had another name as Cush as his secondary name. But we know his name for sure was King Saul, because that's what he's referred to throughout the Bible. It could be one of Saul's men in one of his top ranks. He could have been a Benjamite as well. He could have given up David's positions, and David has had a hard time getting away from Saul. So there's a variety of different things that are speculated about who David is referring to about Cush the Benjamite. But the top line talks about a plea for protection from enemies. Obviously, he's looking for protection, for defense against the enemies that David is running from, trying to get away from. But he points out a very interesting topic about trust. It says in the very first verse, "O Lord my God, in thee do I put my trust. Save me from all of them that persecute me, and deliver me." He reminds himself that he trusts in God. He doesn't particularly trust in man and in man's judgment. He particularly trusts in God and his judgment and in his defense. It goes on in verse 2, "Lest he tear my soul like a lion, rending it in pieces, while there is none to deliver. O Lord my God, if I have done this, if there be any iniquity in my hands, if I have rewarded evil unto him that was at peace with me, yea, I have delivered him that without cause is mine enemy. Let the enemy persecute my soul, and take it. Yea, let him tread down my life upon the earth, and lay mine honor in the dust." Selah. So he tells us to stop and just think on those lines that he's given us about the punishment for someone who seeks persecution and to deliver a person. And it's kind of here where I want to introduce another topic about Cush. Cush is another term for darkness, and it's closely related with the word a spy, someone who's going to give up someone from the darkness. And that's what is a big topic of this verse, is trust. David doesn't trust very many people, especially during this time. He, in a way, kind of believes someone is giving him up. Someone is wanting to persecute him and keeps on delivering him to Saul. Somehow Saul gets to know where David has been. And David is saying, I'm sick and tired of this. And he's saying, Lord, if I've ever done this, if I've ever given up someone, if I've spied on someone, and if I have done an innocent person wrong, he brings that up. Yea, if I have delivered him without cause is mine enemy. If I have not given... if I've delivered someone without a cause that isn't even my enemy, is without cause and is mine enemy, if I've ever done that, I deserve the punishment of a persecuted soul, of letting myself be tread down on the earth and mine honor laid aside. I'm not trustworthy. I am a spy. I am someone that is giving darkness, is giving evil, is giving wickedness the victory by constantly giving up the innocent, by constantly giving up the righteous. That's what he's talking about right here. And he wants those people, even if he has done it before, to suffer this kind of persecution, and let his honor be lay in the dust. But then he goes on to talk about judgment in verse 6 on. He talks about, "Arise, O Lord, in thine anger." God is angry about this kind of treatment. "Lift up thyself because of the rage of mine enemies, and awake for me to the judgment thou hast commanded." God has commanded that kind of judgment to those kinds of people that have spied and have given up the innocent and are very untrustworthy. So shall the congregation of the people compass thee about for their sakes. Therefore return thou on high. The Lord shall judge the people. Judge me, O Lord, according to my righteousness, and according to my integrity that is in me. He talks about the integrity he has. He talks about the righteousness he has. He knows that he is being judged for his righteousness. Every single one of us are being judged by our righteousness. We know it isn't by our righteousness that we are saved, but we know it is by the grace of God, and in trusting in His Son, Jesus Christ, that He came and died on the cross and was risen from the grave. It is by knowing that and trusting in having faith in that happened, and in God, that we know we are saved. But it's after the fact that we are saved that we should be pursuing righteousness, and that God is going to judge us for our righteousness. It says in James 4:7, to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. In other words, he that knoweth to do what is right, to him it is sin. And that sin will be taken care of. You need to take care of that sin that you've done, that you know that what was right, and you did the opposite. You need to get that taken care of. It is the only way that we can grow in our relationship with God, is if we keep on pursuing righteousness. If we just trust in God that He came and died on the cross and did nothing about it, we are stagnant Christians. There is really no value for us than knowing that God came and died. We don't live a life pursuing righteousness. And that's what David is saying here. He wants to be judged by the righteousness of God. Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Let wickedness come to an end. Pretty general there. But establish the just, for the righteous God trieth hearts and reins. My defense is of God, which saveth the upright in heart. He reiterates his trust in God. He knows that God is his defense. He knows that He saveth the upright in heart. And we should have that same kind of trust in God every day that we live, even though there's people that wish evil against us, that want to put us down, that keep on giving us up to people who want to keep on taking us down, that we do not trust. God judgeth the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. Not just some days. He's angry with the wicked every day, of every hour, of every minute, of every second that a wicked person lives and does and executes wickedness. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit, and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. Pate there, if you don't know what that means, it's another word for head. It's the very top of your head. It's the place on which, like a crown, is stayed on your head. So it's just another word for your head as a whole. And then he goes down, and he always ends it as a praise to God, as a thankfulness to God. And he says, I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness, and I will sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High God. So what gives way is we know that trust leads in to praise. Because we know that if we trust in God, He will take those spies, those people that we cannot trust, and He will deal with them. He will deal with the wicked. He will be there for our defense. David goes into talking about God's judgment. He's asking God to continue judging people by their righteousness. David asked God to judge him by his righteousness. We went over that with God judging our own righteousness. We know for a fact that God will judge the wickedness. It is something we have to trust God in. At the very beginning, David reminds himself that his trust isn't in man's judgment of the wicked, but in God's judgment of the wicked. He is being attacked by the wicked, but he knows God is there to make him persevere, even in his low times of being judged by the wicked. So today, trust in God. Trust in Him with your whole heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Trust in Him. Have faith in Him that He will judge the wicked. That He will expose those people that are spying on you, that keep on giving you up. He knows your heart. He knows how you trust in Him and have faith in Him. And He will reward you for that. Continue singing praises to God because you know that you trust in Him. That's one way that God knows that we have trust in Him, is by us continuing praising God, because we know everything is in God's hands. I got a short story for you all. It's a very well-known story about the word trust. It's about a girl and a dad, and they're going to walk across a bridge. It's a rickety bridge. And the father asked the girl to take him by the hand. For her to take her hand and grasp her, maybe her dad's thumb or her finger, because you know how young girls and young kids, they have the small hands, they just grab onto one part of their dad's hand as a whole. And the dad asks her to do that, but the girl says, "No, Dad, grab me by the hand. Take me by the hand. Take your whole hand and grab me by it. Make sure that you have me." And the dad's like, "Well, what's the difference between you holding my hand and me holding your hand?" And the girl said, if anything were to happen, if I were to grab your hand, and if something were to happen, and I fell, I might let go. I don't have the greatest strength. I don't have the strength to grasp your hand, and I might let go because of my weakness. But I trust you, Dad, to take me by the hand, and if something were to happen, you've got me all the way. You're strong. And in some way, that kind of relates to what we should be trusting in God with. Another lesson is, it's not so much that we should be, that God should be asking of us to take Him by the hand. It is us asking God to take His hand and grasp us, to trust in Him. But we have to ask for that kind of trust. We shouldn't just expect it. We know that God is an amazing God, and He loves us so much. But He wants us to strive for that relationship. It is our will that He wants. It is a free will that we have, that we should be wanting to cling on to God. We should be wanting God to come in and take care of us, for us to trust in Him. God can never trust us because of our behavior, because of our sin nature. But we can always know we can trust and depend on God. So let God take you by the hand today. Trust in Him that He has you, that He is protecting you against the wicked. He is protecting you from those people that keep on giving you up. Pray to God. Trust in Him. I hope this was an encouragement to you. If you have anything to add to the things I've looked up about Cush the Benjamite, please give me more insight to that if you find anything more. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a comment down below of your thoughts of what I talked about so I may grow too in this discussion. I pray that you're having an amazing day. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you and give you peace. I'll see you for the next one.